married young, threesomes, betrayal, childhood trauma, 26M/26F. Give me insight? Okay, prepare for a lot. I 26F and my partner 26M have been together for over 7 years. We started dating in high school and were each other's first real relationship. We progressed extremely fast and moved in together at 18. Everything was perfect and we rarely fought. Over the years we grew together and did everything together. Everything. 2 nights apart in 7 years, work together, school together, etc. We just got along extremely well and always wanted to be around each other. He was involved in sports, so we moved around for that quite a bit. My hobbies and identity developed into his, and the only friends we really hung out with were his, or ones that we were both friends with. We both rarely did any social activities outside of each other. Then we later developed businesses together, his interests, and did those together. Neither have typical jobs that we go to every day. We got married 1.5 years ago. Our SX life started to have issues about 2 years into the relationship. He stopped desiring SX, and that was hard for me. We worked through it. However, around this time, the idea of a threesome was thrown out. I am straight, but was down to experiment and give it a try. We tried it out and agreed to only do oral. It went okay. Neither of us were thrilled with the experience. Starting 2023, we decided to give it a try again and had multiple experiences with full-on MFF threesomes/MFMF foursome. He was more pushy / wanting to do them more frequently than I was. I think I was unhappy with our SX life, so was doing anything to spice it up / make it more interesting. He got to sleep with multiple girls, but he did not really want me to be with other guys. He would not do a MMF, and the only time I was with another guy was the foursome. I was throwing out the idea of opening it up and trying things separate. The opportunity arose where I was offered a free happy ending massage. I talked with him about it, and we agreed that I could do it, and he would try something solo. He wanted to try out an older woman, and we agreed we would only do oral with this encounter, not full-on. My experience went well at massage, and he said his was okay with the older lady and that nothing else happened between them. Our SX life together was sometimes really good together, and sometimes really bad. Very transactional, no passion. Probably 1-2x a week and never spontaneous. About 6 months later, little lies started to come out with him. One of our mutual friends was making fun of him and sent a screenshot of him liking some influencer's picture on IG. He deleted this message off my phone. I found out and confronted him. I didn't care what he looked at. I was letting him FK other girls. It just became an issue when other people are noticing and seeing him not show respect to me. More and more lies came out over the month. He said he followed the girls, but didn't. He was still searching them up. Clicking of link. I looked through his phone and found an entire hidden album of saved girls. It was not all porn though. It would be screen recordings of random girls on TikTok. Even some of a girl we knew from high school who he swore he didn't find attractive. He said it was just to feel horny before bed, but he would rarely use it to jerk off. It was so strange, and I did not understand. He had had problems with porn at the beginning of our relationship, but it was managed, and we agreed to only watch it together. I would find out like one new thing a week, and he would constantly promise / assume me that was everything. He later admitted to buying a girls if he went to HS with, but then saying he never looked at it lol. I asked about the one solo encounter because of a weird gut feeling, and it came out that he had actually fed her and lied about it to me for 8 months. The only thing I ever asked was trust and communication, and I would have literally let him do whatever he wanted. If he would have told me at the time, I would have just said, okay, I'm going to go sleep with another guy, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. After finding this out, I had had enough. I told him I was leaving him. I ended up staying but came to the conclusion I needed to even the score and was going to go hook up with someone. I did, and the experience was really good. This really hit his self-esteem because the guy was similar to him, just slightly better than him in every way, as he says. We then agreed to fully open the relationship while living together. He slept with a girl we had previously done threesomes with and came back saying he missed me and didn't want to sleep with other people. I slept with this guy again, and he was hurt when I told him I didn't miss him after sleeping with him. This really damaged his self-esteem, and he was sad / hurt. Throughout this process, we were very transparent and didn't really argue. We would literally tell each other detail of the other person's encounters. I felt like I had given my everything in this relationship. My whole world revolved around him and taking care of him. Looking back now, I was mothering him. He provided financially, but I was taking care of everything else and really taking on a masculine role. I wanted to go out with friends and drink occasionally, but he said his boundaries were home by 10 and no more than one drink. I felt controlled. This had been our normal for the past 7 years, but I wanted to have fun and have a life outside of the relationship. He said this hurt him, and he didn't want me to want to sleep with other guys. So we decided on a 1-month break of living apart. The only boundaries of this break were I wouldn't have guys over at our house, and if we did sleep with other, we would use protection. The day he moves out, I go and sleep with the other guy again. I tell him a few days later when I see him, because we agreed to be transparent about everything. 2 weeks into the break, I get a call. He said he slept with another girl and didn't use protection, the one boundary I had for him. He then asks to close the marriage while on the break. I say no because I feel like this is taking away my freedom. Even though I hadn't even seen any other guys since the day he moved out, I wanted the ability to be able to. It felt like he was trying to fix his anxiousness/lack of following boundaries by enforcing boundaries on the relationship. A few days go by, and we agree to meet to catch up. At this meeting, he starts asking me why we are married, and if I want a divorce. He then ends up crying, and I say I wanted more time and space to decide. He pushed for an answer then, and I settled on divorce. I am just sitting there watching him cry, and am not feeling bad about it because I had already processed it all in a way. He then ambushed me at the house. We agreed all visits would be scheduled and it would be my space. I find him inside, laying in the bed. He violated a space boundary. Then I asked if he read my journal that was on the counter. He said yes, he read the open page, but not more. I feel violated again, and like I am not respected. He says he wanted to give one more try, and doesn't want us to be over. Reading me journals to me, buying me gifts, etc. This whole situation has brought up a lot of childhood issues with Trama that we didn't know we had. Our attachment styles are very different. He is anxious and I am fearful avoidant, which does not help the situation. We have both been going to therapy, but our therapists have conflicting views, so it has also been confusing. I do not have family I can rely on. His family has become my family, which also makes this difficult. Looking back at the relationship, there are a lot of things I was settling for and not getting. I am not an emotional person, but have settled with safety and financial security. He is promising he can change and realizes he wasn't doing things I was asking for. Date nights, flowers, intimate moments, helping out around the house. I was catering to his every need and putting his emotions above myself. He did not help with household things, and I was doing most of the business things. I also was not allowing him to be in control, but he never made an effort, which probably contributed to his self-esteem/worth issues. But I do love him and miss him, but I am having a hard time identifying love versus attachment. I want to give him a chance to change, but I feel he is showing me who he is with his actions time and time again. At this point, the entire relationship dynamic would have to change. He would have to change. I would have to trust him and find that love again. We have both hurt each other. I just feel I have been upfront with everything and have never lied to him. I am not sure I can even get that trust back for him, even though I still care about him. We were basically roommates. Would you give him more time to change? Is it even possible? Thoughts?